I want to start by saying, Call Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakat Kodash, double honor to Apostle Elders Great Millstone, start with Apostle Tahar starting on down, who rule and teach well, lead God direct, Slacky, noise in the background, everybody threw my head up. Double honor to Apostle Elders Great Millstone, who teach and rule well. Peace, salutation to all the occupied four corners of the earth, all you brothers, all you speckled face brothers, keep believing, keep pushing, keep striving. Don't give up the fight. It's almost coming to an end. Well, the endurance be coming to an end, endure to the end, and we'll be out there, become hunters. Fishing season is almost over, which fishing is hunting anyway, but we hunting for the elect, fishing for the elect, but we're gonna be turning to hunters of the heathen nations. And Esau, Edom, the wicked, and the heathen nations will hunt their ass down by the elite. All right. But with that said, I want to just play this quick video. I ain't did a video in a while. My life been a little crazy. It's no excuse. But I don't know. But things go on. I'm constantly. I'll go to camp always. But I miss a few videos. That I need to been doing. But there's a lot going on. So much going on with the world right now, and it's a beautiful time. It's a great time because Second Ezra, the 15, 16 chapter, the 9th chapter, 6th chapter. I mean, you can go through it, and Matthew 24th chapter. All these things is hitting right here, right now. You know what I'm saying? You can see it happening now. Ezekiel 35th chapter. Obadiah is about to come into play, real heavy. Man, this is beautiful. So anyway, but I want to pull out a couple scriptures. I was trying not to do this long, but I'm gonna try to grab a couple scripts and grab a couple scripts. But I'm gonna play this video first. So hold tight.
It was called the Red Summer of 1919, named for the blood that ran through America's cities during months of racial unrest. African American soldiers had returned home from the Great War, World War I, to a country still teeming with discrimination. And in their quest for civil rights, tensions between blacks and whites reached a tipping point. Deadly race riots broke out in over 24 cities, but one rural town, Lane, Arkansas, would become the epicenter for the bloodshed. The violence there, lynch mobs, torture, indiscriminate murder was so horrific it would go down in history not as a race riot, but as the Elaine Massacre.
Salakia, for a minute I had to pause that right quick. I want to grab this quick scripture right quick. Salakia. All right, let me grab this right quick. This is matter of fact, let me just get it right here. This is hey, in this thing it said it was the bloodiest. It was one of the bloodiest massacre. Let me just go back and play this game. My internet messing up. So tight, bear with me.
Cities, but one rural town, Elaine, Arkansas, would become the epicenter for the bloodshed. The violence there, lynch mobs.
The violence, right? All right, this is Obadiah. This is Obadiah 1:10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. That's coming Esau, man. The Lord has told Esau this because of the violence against thy brother. And what did it say is that the violence that the so-called white man has did to the so-called Negroes, the the bloodshed, it's called the bloodiest racial conflict. All right. And I want to go back here to Obadiah part one. This vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power Yahweh Bashim Yahushua concerning Edom, Edom, Esau, red, the red people. We know who that is. Wasted away is he, Esau. Okay. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. And that's what's happening. They rising up against this devil. You got China, you got Russia, you got Venezuela trying to somewhat fight back. You got Iran. You know what I'm saying? You got all these nations that want to have a dealings with Esau. North Korea, know, things getting hot out that way. They already had a shooting out there with North Korea and South Korea. They already was shooting at each other from the demilitarized zone. They was already shooting at each other. And Kim Jong Un said he gonna close that bitch down. So it's a lot of shit going on, man. China saying they about to drop the dollar. They're gonna just wipe it straight out. So it's a lot of shit that's starting this war up. Um, it says I'm gonna go here. Then I'm gonna go back to the video. 2 says, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised." Hey, right now Esau's despised right now. These countries are starting to hate this devil. The beast shall hate the whore. They're starting to really hate what this devil is. They're starting to see the horns of Esau. Esau is showing his horns. And really, to be honest, Esau gonna really show his horns with all this rioting and shit. Martial law come in. Jacob's trouble. As this shit is hitting heavy, hey, Esau horns is gonna show. He gonna really show who he really truly is. And then people gonna say, that's the devil. Then people gonna realize what our ancestors realized as slavery is that the so-called white man is the fucking devil. All right. Let me play this.
Torture, indiscriminate murder was so horrific it would go down in history not as a race riot, but as the LA massacre. This is history. Dark history. During World War I, more than 350,000 African American soldiers enlisted to serve. But while they fought for democracy abroad, their own country, America, was still not willing to see them as equal.
White supremacy was very mainstream at this time in the United States. Basically, a lot of African Americans were seeking to obtain their full rights and equality in the United States. And violence was often used by mobs of whites.
Tensions reached a boiling point in the summer of 1919. Race riots broke out in dozens of cities across the country. But in the rural South, something even more menacing was taking form. There, slavery existed in all but name, in a system called sharecropping. Farmers provided landowners with labor for a share of crops produced, but the system was rigged. Sharecroppers were often kept in perpetual debt.
One black sharecropper raised $500 worth of cotton, and his landlord told him, "Yeah, but you used $697 worth of supplies, so you owe me money."
Everyone who has any power at this point is working to make sure they keep African American laborers tied to the land.
For roughly 50 years, the system went unchecked. In the fall of 1918, a black man from Arkansas had had enough. A radio had decided to form a union to represent sharecroppers. It was a dangerous decision. It was off a few events involving mass murder, torture, and a landmark Supreme Court vote. First, he would need to organize.
In his message, Hill was pretty simple and direct. Why is it that we cannot have fair payment for the honest and hardworking people?
Despite the inherent law, challenging rights, Homeland veterans and other black sharecroppers became card-carrying members of the Progressive Farmers and Household Union of America.
We believe that, but
I'm gonna read one more quick scripture. Quick, this I wasn't even gonna go there, but this scripture come to my head right here. Just came to my head as they was talking. This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. You know, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. You know, meaning, hey, because when you fatherless, you have no power. Because what does your father represent? Power. Who is our father? Yahweh. We was fatherless. You know, we have been fatherless for so long. We have been without our power. We have been without the very one that truly loves us and make us who we are. Make Yasharallah who he is. You know, Yerushalayim. You know, because Yerushalayim is a people before it's a place. You know, Yerushalayim is a people. You know, Mount Zion. Zion, we are a people before we are a place. You know, and Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is our power. Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. You know, hey, and what will ye do in the day of visitation? And in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory? Without me, they shall bow down under the prisoners, and they shall fall under the slain. For all this is his anger, is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. So, hey, we're gonna the Lord gave us up. He gave us into this hell that we have to go through. But still, he gonna do what? Stretch out his hand and pull us right the fuck back out of it. And who is his hand? Yahushua. He gonna let Yahushua come and pull us right back out of it. But the point is woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. You know, they turn aside the needy. You know, they throw us away. They push us up. They don't give a fuck about the judgments for us. They don't give a fuck about the poor. They don't give a fuck about our rights. We have no fucking rights. You know, there's no rights for the poor. They care less. You know, they get the fuck out of here, man. We'll kill you when we want to keep. We'll put our knee on their neck, on whoever, any of you niggas next that we want to do. You know, because why? What is Esau to the Lord? The Lord's whooping said. You know, what did was that thing? It was King David said, "Hide me from the wicked, which are thy hand, from men which are thy hand, wicked, which you know, hide me from them, which are thy hide me from the men which are thy hand, thy whooping stick." You know. But I'll get it. But that's the point. That was just the point, you know. Hide me from the wicked, you know. But what was I at? I just butchered that scripture, I know that. But right here, let me go ahead on and continue that.
by paying dues, these members could have the services of lawyers and sue plantation owners for cotton that had been stolen from them and false numbers that have been placed in the plantation loans.
On September 30th, 1919, union members gathered in the Maine to discuss their legal plan.
This is in Phillips County. It's basically just a crossroads at this time, a road, a few houses, a railroad site, no streetlights. There's also a one-room wooden church, and that's where the union met. expecting that they might have trouble. The Union posted a guard of about 6 men. They had shotguns and rifles. Meetings taking place. While they're having this discussion, a car rolls up the road.
2 white men were in the car.
By one account, one of the white men in the car.
Slock, I want to get that because I was butchering that scripture. This is Psalm 64:2. Hide me from the secret. Well, this is one. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. This is King David. Hear my voice, O power Yahweh, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Okay. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrections of the workers of iniquity, who weak their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Hey, who's the perfect? 144,000. The Lord's people. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter, like Esau always does. They commune of lying snares. Privately, they say, who shall see them? The Lord sees them. Yahweh sees them. But King David said, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity.
Car said, you all get away from there. And shortly thereafter, a shot was fired.
Though it remains unclear who fired first, a barrage of gunfire broke out. One of the white men was killed almost instantly. The rumor of a black uprising spread in a matter of hours. The idea of a chair in the hands of landowners who did not want their sharecropping practices scrutinized. They didn't want it good. They could. That's how it works.
The story gets magnified that the town is under attack, that blacks are killing people in the streets, that there's a revolution afoot.
The sharecroppers quickly formed self-defense groups, expecting repercussions on the death of a white man, but they could not have predicted just how severe the response would be. The following morning, the watchful eye of Sheriff Frank Kitchens and his deputies, posses of white men were sent to find, detain, and kill the offenders.
When you have an out-of-control mob that's being told there's a Negro insurrection going on, that mob's being very indiscriminate and violent. You see houses being attacked, black-owned homes being ransacked,
The black schools burnt, notable families were killed.
Black women and children have to go literally hide out in the woods because many of these people are indiscriminately shooting at African American women and their children.
Black veterans and other African Americans took up arms in self-defense.
this no doubt just feeds into the mob fervor. The fact that, oh, they're daring to shoot back at us. This must really be an insurrection.
One historian has identified more than 20 different killing sites where African Americans were being killed.
There are stories that
Hey, this stuff is coming up. I just want to read this again. This is Psalm 17 and Psalm 17 and 8. Let me see. Hold on. This is King David. This is Psalm 17 and 8. Keep me as the apple of the eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings. He's talking to the Most High. From the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. And daily, you see your enemies daily. Daily, you can't go around in this world today that we don't cross our enemies. Sleep with them, we make babies with them. We're around them all the time. Work with them. Hey, your enemy is all around. And then even you got your own people, the 2/3 as well. They are enclosed in their own fat. With their mouth, they speak proudly. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth. Hey, you look, hey, they watch us from satellites and shit, follow everything we do. They know when we on the computers, what we saying, what we doing. They watching our YouTubes, they on your Facebooks, they're all over, they're everywhere. They fucking watching you walk out your front door. Everything you do, they see you. All right. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth. like as a lion that is greedy of his prey. And where the wicked prey at now. The Lord said, "Ye are sheep," you know, amongst wolves. And the wolf is what is the sheep are the prey, you know. He's lurking, you know, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay, that was with the scripture I was butchering. uh, from men which are thy hand. Men, it didn't say spirits. It didn't say there's men that's the wicked. A man is wicked. There's a wicked man that the Lord, that King David was asking the Lord to hide from. And really, he was seeing this song was really for us here, especially now here. The King, they went through a lot of different things. But this runs so true right now today, to this very day. From men which are thy hand, O Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, from men of the world, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasures. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. Generational wealth, Rothschilds, Gettysburgs, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, and the list goes on and on and on. As for me, I will I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. What? When we come back to our power, man. When we will wake back like gods. When we become gods again. There was that Psalms 80, I think Psalms 82 and 3. Ye are gods. I said that ye are gods. You know? Uh hold on. I'm gonna go back to the video. I'm gonna try not to talk as much. I was trying to make it quick, but evidently I can't. But I'm gonna shut up a little bit. I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to work at 5 in the morning. So all right. But anyway,
Mob members are taking souvenirs such as ears or fingers from the bodies of fallen
that's
African
wickedness, man.
Americans.
One of the leading black families of the county, they weren't even in the town. They had just received a brother back from the French front. They are pulled from a train, put in the back of a car, and they are stabbed, shot, and their mutilated bodies are left on the side of the road.
Within 2 days, 500 U.S. troops were sent to quell the supposed black uprising.
They don't find any blacks killing or shooting down the streets. In fact, Colonel Jinks reports that the city is filled with hundreds and hundreds of white men with guns. Many of the individuals who were hiding in the thickets were former soldiers who had just gotten back from the war. And when they see the army troops come, they rush out, believing that the army troops are there to assist them. The army believes that these people are rushing toward them to attack, and they're cut down by machine gun fire.
Although the exact number will never be known, a recent estimate suggests 237 black men, women, and children were killed. There was an...
All right, this is another scripture right here. This is Zechariah 11 and 4. Thus saith the Lord, my power, Yahweh, feed the flock of the slaughtered, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Literally, they're praying to our power and telling the Lord, bless them for letting them do all these dirty deeds that's been done. From the Elaine massacre to Tulsa, Oklahoma, to 1946 Columbia race riots, to the dark history of gasoline bath at the border, to all this shit that has been done from the northern tribe to the southern tribe, no matter what, where, you know, all this bloodshed that has been shed of our people, the Atlantic slave trade, everything that has been done. Okay, they said, praise be the Lord. All right, let me read that again. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And America got rich off of what? Slavery. This country got rich off of what? Blood. The bloodshed of our people. Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Why? They don't pity us? Because they work with the so-called white man. They work with him. They do his dealings behind closed doors. They tell us that we Black, African American. They don't give us our real true identity. They don't tell us who we truly are in the Bible. They lie to their people. They rob from their people. They set their people up. They run sting operations for the so-called white man. They do all kind of wicked, dirty shit against us, man. They railroad us their own self. They don't pity us. All they want to do is line their fucking pockets so they can have a good life on this side. For I will no more pity the inhabitants of the land, saith the Lord. But lo, I will deliver the men, every one into his neighbor's hand, and into the hand of his king, and they shall smite the land, and out of their hand I will not deliver them. And we have yet to be delivered out of the hand of this devil. But we will be delivered because the Lord already said he's going to deliver us out of this devil's hand. All right. And you can go through Obadiah, read that, Isaiah 14th chapter. You can read us this couple places. You can read that the Lord is going to come back and free his people. Revelation. Hold on. What was I? All right, let me get back here because I gotta hurry and get on.
Immediate demand for justice, but not for the Black lives lost. 5 white men were also killed in the fighting. Hundreds of African Americans were rounded up and put in jail, and when the jail was full, they detained the rest in the schoolhouse.
While they are detained, there is torture going on.
The goal? To elicit false confessions of a Black uprising.
They whipped them.
Hey, talk about that black uprising, so-called black uprising. Okay, I want to read this. This is Zechariah 9:12. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope, and we're prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. When I have bent Judah for me, fill the bow with Ephraim, and raise up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece. That's Esau. They act like they're Greece, but they're really not. They get Edom, but they overtook the Greeks. They overtook their land and they overtook their identity. Okay, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. And the Lord shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as the lightning. And the Lord power Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua shall blow the trumpet, and shall go with the whirlwind of the south. Okay, the Lord of hosts, which is armies, the Lord of hosts shall defend them, and they shall devour and subdue with sling stones, and they shall drink and make a noise as though wine, and they shall be filled like bowls, and as the corners of the altar. And the Lord their power, Yahweh, shall save them in that day as the flock of his people. For they shall be as the stones of a crown, lifted up as an ensign upon his head, upon his land. For how great is his goodness, and how great is his beauty. Corn shall make the young man cheerful, and new wine the maids. So the Lord's going to lift us up like a crown on his head, like one of the jewels of the crown of his head. He's going, what? Put us up on high. Going to put us back on his head, back on power. Going to be connected back into the Lord. He going to stand us up. He going to tear this shit up for his people. He going to send Yahushua, and he going to send Yahushua, and Yahushua going to come back, and he going to tear this shit up. You know, he going to give this devil a piece of what he been giving us for over in this captivity, at least 500 something plus. All right, let me play this.
And whipped them for long periods of time. They stuffed their noses and they stripped them naked and shocked them with electrical charges. They did this until they confessed to the conspiracy.
Robert Hill
Some
escaped
wicked
to
shit.
Kansas, but his peers back in Arkansas were not as lucky.
Only the devil can do some shit
122
like this.
indictments were issued, and trials quickly started.
The men were brought into the court in chains and weren't allowed to consult with their defense attorney. The defense attorney rarely interjected, and then the all-white jury started delivering guilty verdicts. In one case, the guilty verdicts came back in 2 minutes.
It's also important to point out that there were mobs of people outside who were demanding black blood. Governor Bruff maintained that at some point these people would be killed, but they would have to have been killed justly.
The governor lived up to his word. When among the 87 black citizens charged with crimes, 12 were sentenced to death by electric chair. Despite the system being blatantly rigged against them, the convicted men had one unlikely beacon of hope: the American justice system. The trials of the Elaine 12 had been highly publicized. The NAACP took notice and stepped in with legal help from the 12. For 4 years, the team faced a series of legal setbacks and advances, until in 1923, the case made its way to the Supreme Court, what is now known as Moore versus Dempsey. There, the defense argued that the original trials had been mob-dominated, and black prisoners had been denied their constitutional rights. In a landmark decision, the court agreed.
The good that comes out of this.
Hey, and that was in 1923, and that was in I think was Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was like 1921, I think. So, it was just a few years out of there. Just like, nah, they don't give a fuck. They just killed. They killed one so-called Negro. They killed another. They killed that woman. She was in what was she? I can't remember her name right now. She was an EMS driver. They just killed her a few months ago. Hey, Ahmaud Arbery just got murdered by, may not be in the cops, but it was still a so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just been murder after murder from just their people, man. It used to be mobs of their people doing this shit. And the mobs of their people just turned into being police on this side, turned into being the Sectarians on this side to put us to death, when they wanted to, when we weren't doing enough of it to ourselves,
This is that the NAACP sees for the first time that it can win in the Supreme Court, that things don't always fall along the color lines.
The 12, subjected to torture, injustice, and litigation travesty, were at long last exonerated.
Just like they had the Gina 6, They
might have escaped with their lives, but
shit is all about design.
could reverse the pain and devastation felt by the black community in Phillips County, and no way to unsee the ungodly truth that American men, alongside the American government, were complicit in a massacre of American citizens on American soil.
That's it. So they spilt the blood. They spilt the blood of our people on American soil. It was a massacre, And they talking about the little bullshit ass massacre shootings of the gay club and all that. Nah, man, the real massacre, the real terrorist is a so-called white man, and he's been massacring our people for fucking decades, man. For fucking decades. But hey, look, this right here. I'm gonna read this. This is Ezekiel the 35. I'm gonna start at 1 because we're gonna get to the point. But I was gonna get to the point, but I want to start at 1. This is Ezekiel 35, and the point is in 5 through 7. But I'm starting 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, the word of the Lord Yahweh is in capital. Lord is in capital. So the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Mount Seir is Esau, is Edom. That's their original habitation, their original land. All right. And say unto it, thus saith the Lord power Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Like Obadiah says, 1 and 10. Like you read the whole thing, Obadiah, just like uh um Psalms chapter 17, King David, you know, Isaiah 10, you know what I'm saying? These scriptures is hitting heaven. Read that again. Verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Because our slavery was supposed to end. And they were supposed to give us 40 mules an acre. And they didn't want to do it. They chose not to let us go. We should have really been let. I mean, at the end of the day, we should not still be in this country. Our slavery was over. We should have been sent back where we came from, even if it was so-called in Africa. But the so-called the fake Jews, the Jewish, shouldn't even be in our land. That should be our land, and we should be having our land back. No, everything's supposed to be set back right. But since why these devils not going to do their job like they're supposed to, so it's going to take the Lord to come back and get it done. All right. 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood. Okay, even blood shall pursue thee. They don't hate blood. Look, this is a massacre. This is the Elaine massacre, the bloodiest racial conflict in U.S. history. It's one of the bloodiest racial conflicts because you got Tulsa, you got Mississippi, you got what was it? Some in Baltimore. I mean, there's many different race riots. You know, uh, that you can just type up race riot history of race riots in America. You just Google it. The shit will pop up like crazy. All right. Okay. Verse 7. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. All right. I'm gonna let this finish up, then I'm gonna read one more scripture. So I gotta go to bed. I'm tired in the month. I gotta get back a couple hours.
Have grown and we continue to grow. We don't need to pretend as if we've always had everything figured out. But if we are to do justice to who we are as Americans, we've got to own all of it.
And shit looks the same. It's like they do now. They still fighting, doing the same old shit. Still doing the same old shit. And you expecting a new result. Out there screaming, hollering, crying, oh, give us peace, stop. Oh, you're doing the same old shit. And you think you're gonna get this, you think you're gonna get something different gonna happen. And it never does. Or it gets cool for a couple months. Next thing you know, 6-7 months down, so go and kill another kill another Negro. I mean, come on, man. I'm laughing, not laughing. But I'm just laughing at it's fucking futile. It's stupid at this point in time to keep thinking that the same marching shit is gonna work. Only thing is gonna work is like the Lord said, it takes blood to cure what's happening. Blood shall pursue Esau. This is the only thing. Jacob's trouble gotta come. The chip gotta come. Mark of the beast. We gotta go through this hell, and the Lord gotta come back and wipe everybody out. That's just it, man. Like you said, since thou have not hated blood, blood shall pursue thee. Blood is on Esau's ass, and it's coming right back to catch you. It's a boomerang. What you put out, you will get back. That's the effect. That's the boomerang effect. You know. I got one. This is Exodus 21 and I think 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. All right. I'm gonna end that on that. And with that said, call all Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash, Double honors to the Apostle Eldridge Gray Millstone, who ruled and teach well, starting with Elder Apostle Tahar on down. Hey, to all you brothers in the faith, keep teaching, keep pushing, keep striving. We're almost out of here. Hey, I'm Yaquad from YSO, Yahweh Shah Sanctified Ones. You know, hey, I'm coming to you with a quick little lesson. It wasn't that quick, but, you know, just on this devil and why you're going through. Exodus 15, 16, 9, 6 chapter. All these different chapters. You think of Matthew 24th chapter. Ezekiel 35th about to come to play. All these things about to come to play. Psalm 17, Isaiah 10, you know, all these things about to come to play, and we're going to get to Isaiah 14. You know, all these things about to come to play. All these different chapters in the scriptures that the Lord has put out there. Hey, man, this thing's coming. It's hitting heavy. What's that? It's another one I'm trying to think of. I think it's, was it Numbers 30 and 32, something like that. I might be wrong, Slakia. The land cannot be clean unless it's clean by the blood of the one who spilled it, and that's Esau. This land is dirty by his blood, and it's got to be clean by his blood. He got to finally make the biggest sacrifice, and it's going to be him. It's his whole nation. They all got to be sacrificed, and the elite gonna go into slavery for 1,000 years, and then they're gonna be done away with. So, hey, with that said, Shalom.